Today's episode is sponsored by EPM. EPM is passionate about helping their clients succeed. From the very beginning, they set out to be different from the other companies. Their diverse team of experts working in a collaborative entrepreneurial culture bring fresh thinking and creative solutions every day. They live and breathe their brand's mission and vision. EPM is all about empowerment, and through it all, they will continue to offer top financial service, communication, and assistance to the communities they serve. So, with that being said, welcome back to the Broker to Broker podcast. My name is Mark Summers. I'm the president of AIME. Absolutely love doing these. These are great episodes that we've been having, great guests, and we have another great guest today. So right now, I'm going to introduce and be interviewing the broker owner of my mortgage group, Mary Mattingly. Mary, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So, obviously you're big into the community, love what you do. I'm really excited to talk to you about, the things we're going to talk about here today is kind of what every broker wants to know, which is, talk about referrals, processes, procedures, everything like that. And I know with the discovery call, you have a lot of insight on this. So let's just hop right into it. If you don't mind, tell me about your background. How did you get into the business? The floor is yours.
All right. Well, I think a lot of mortgage brokers or lenders in general kind of fall into this business. It's not something I think a lot of people actively pursue as a career path, except for those that are like, oh, I can make a ton of money. It's a lot of hard work, and you really have to have a passion for helping people and doing what you do. So I moved to California when I was 19 with my now ex-husband, and I got my real estate license, started working with a family friend. They owned a mortgage company too. So I thought, oh, hey, I'm going to sell real estate and it's going to be fantastic. I'll make all this money. I hated selling real estate, like with a passion. And I really did enjoy the lending side of things. And this was back in 2004, 2005 in that arena. So right when the market was hot, but also right when the market was starting to tank. So I saw a lot of different things happen in the industry, a lot of shady people, a lot of shady things, and I still just loved it. So I decided, hey, to hell with real estate. I'm not going to do it anymore. I want to stick with the lending. My kids were both really young at the time. So I actually took a couple years off when the market crashed and spent some time with them. And subsequently got divorced. And when I got divorced, I left my ex-husband without literally a penny to my name. My account was negative because he had some issues with gambling, and I had to write checks to sergeants and lieutenants. And that was a really sad day. But I woke up and I said, I want to be the reason why my kids have a roof over their head and food on their table and never have to want for anything. So in 2011, I took a job making $10 an hour as a processor and somebody who never processed loans ever before. Hold on. So I'd never processed a loan before. What they actually had me do was they had me create a contract processing company. So I went and I did all the marketing and everything and created that company. Then that took me about 6 months, and then they fired me. So again, I found myself as a single mom without an income. Not that I made very much at $10 an hour anyway, but I happened to get another job as a processor with another broker, and he really just kind of said, here, take this and go figure it out. And I did. So a lot of how I operate and run my business now was all formulated and based off of that. Try first, ask later. Just do it until you figure it out. And that wealth of knowledge that comes with the experience of actually doing these things yourself and figuring them out and failing over and over and over again is why I think I do have the level of success that I do have now. So that's pretty much my story on how I ended up being in the mortgage business. My company came from the fact that I think a lot of people lack the integrity to actually do what we do and do it the right way. And by that, I mean, people are greedy and they're driven by how many numbers are on their spreadsheet or what's in their bank account or how much their commission check's going to be. And I firmly don't believe that needs to be in our business at all. I always say it, it's kind of a staple. People are people, not paychecks. So if you come to me for a mortgage or advice or anything in the financial sphere, you're not going to be treated like another number in my pipeline or a dollar in my bank account. And I want to make sure that I'm helping you. So my mortgage group was born out of not being able to find a brokerage to work with who shared those ideals or had quotas to meet or dollar amounts or got to make full comp, got to do this. And so I really wanted to be part of something spectacular, and I was having a hard time finding it. I was lucky enough to have the support of Best Equity, and they are actually my parent brokerage. I'm a DBA of their company, and they're phenomenal and excellent, and their core values are the same as mine. So my mortgage group was launched actually on my birthday, February, and we're doing quite well. So
That's awesome to hear. Three things that stuck out to me is one, I'm sorry that you've had to go through all of that. But two, it sounds like it made you a completely better person. Not that you were ever a bad person, but it made you stronger. And three, I mean, it's a testament to what this industry can do. You know what I mean? Like, you're obviously really successful now, and you're taking the right approach. You take a lot of the approaches that I like to take and that I love to try to express to the community, which is, it's not all about the money. It's about, it truly is a person to person business. So I absolutely love that.
yeah, absolutely. It saddens me when I see posts in other groups or in bad where people are just asking like, "Hey, how can I make full comp on a $1.5 million property and compete?" It's like, but do you need to make full comp on that? I mean, if there you've got 10 loans in your pipeline that you're working on and you've got one big boy, and you need to compete for that, do what's best for the client. Like, give them that great rate, go borrower paid, help them out by paying their appraisal, whatever it takes. Just don't stop worrying about how much money is going to go in your pocket and start worrying about what's going to be the biggest benefit to your borrower, because that borrower will come back time and time again because
Yep.
of your integrity.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, consumer first. So I always say consumer first. I mean, we don't want to work for free, and not
No.
ever saying that, but at the same time, you know what? Like, you can make really good money, and you just don't always have to, just put the consumer first. Let's just say that.
Yeah, yeah,
Perfect.
exactly.
Okay, so let's talk about your business model here a little bit. One thing that that we thrive on, personally, I thrive on, which is referrals. I've tried diving in a few times to like buying leads and stuff like that, but I just think that's a whole different animal, and not that that's wrong. It's just a business path personally that I don't want to take, and I know a lot of people want to take that path. Some people don't. But where do your referrals come from? Because I know you basically work off referrals, correct?
Yeah, I've actually never done a paid advertisement. I've never paid for a lead. I've never had leads funneled to me from a brokerage I've worked with. Every client that I have ever funded a loan for is a referral from somebody else. So I may have worked with a client for 3 years to get them eligible to buy a property, and they in turn referred, every mom on their kid's soccer team and everything. So just everything that I do in business, referral wise, comes from building a relationship and a rapport with the actual people, learning about their kids, their hobbies, their activities, just their life, what they want, their short term, long term goals, and really kind of living in that moment with them and enjoying that moment with them in the process with them. So I become a part of it versus just an entity in the system. So um, I take a client from, hey, I want to get a mortgage, to, oh my gosh, that's so cool. Your kid made the playoffs. That's awesome. Are you guys going out of town this weekend? Okay, great. Let me send you like a cool little care package, to go, sunscreen, all that, whatever it might be. When it becomes really personal, you feel like friends and you feel like family and you trust each other. And that's huge, huge, huge. So every client being treated like I've known them for 15 years and they're my best friend and I absolutely adore them and love them. They want their friends, their family, their coworkers to also feel that same experience and know that, hey, this is different. This isn't walking into a bank and saying, I would like to buy a house, and talking to 37 people over 3 months in the process, and they don't even remember your name.
Right.
So the referrals come from building that personal relationship.
So like, do you, okay, so I love this. So do you go after like a certain, I don't want to call it a sector, but like, I mean, are you getting referrals from like, financial planners, or is it just strictly friendships and just creating relationships with people?
That's interesting because a lot of people have asked, like, how do I start building that relationship with the people who can refer business to me? And financial planners, financial advisors, those are great people to have in your pocket because they talk to a ton of people. But the relationship you have with them is also going to be the referral source. So like I've done 3 loans for my financial planner, and he's referred me probably 20 different clients. But he and I meet once a month. We do a networking event together. We do all this stuff. So I built a relationship with him to then earn the referrals he's giving. So that's a great source. But most of my referrals actually come from the nonprofit work that I do, my community involvement. Believe it or not, hanging out at the breweries. Like,
I love it. I knew I connected with you. There it is.
I can't tell you how awesome it is to be able to take an application on your phone, because I've literally sat at a bar countless times and handed my phone over to somebody I met 20 minutes ago over a beer, and then I'm refinancing their house. Because when you build and you make that connection, it could be like so simple as like, hey, oh my gosh, is that an IPA you just ordered? Is that good? I've never been here. I haven't tried that one. And they're like, oh my gosh, yeah, it's got this. And then you start talking, and it's building that relationship and having that conversation and really being interested in what they're saying and how they're saying it and being receptive. But again, I do a lot of volunteer charity work with a couple of different organizations, with police, with fire, with single homeless moms. Most recently, the Unforgettables, which is a great organization. But I do all this work, and I don't do it for the referrals. I don't do it for the business. I do it because it's right. I'm blessed. I've got a great family, great relationships, great business. I got money in the bank. I wasn't always in this position. I struggled a lot financially because of the situation with my ex-husband, because being a single mom, not having family local, because of all of that. I struggled and I built what I built and I have what I have, and it just doesn't seem right not to give it back. Whether it be my time, financial commitments, sitting on the golf board, being a chair, whatever it is that I can do, I'm showing a great vast number of people in the community where my heart is and who I am as a person. And they in turn go, oh, Mary does mortgage loans. She also does all of this and never once has ever asked for business. So go talk to her.
Right.
That's who you want to see. So just that community involvement and really, really digging deep and being a part of it, bringing your kids and your family and everybody into that fold and just saying, hey, this is where my heart is. I want to give. I'm able to give. I should give. Now my kids, my family, we're all here. And yeah, I happen to do loans. So come talk to me.
Mary, you would have been perfect for the panel that I had at our virtual Fuse event last year, and the panel was great, and they're echoing a lot of words you're saying right now, which is, go be a part of your community. You know what I mean? Do what's right. We're all extremely blessed with this industry right now. You got a lot of people making good amount of money, providing for their family. So just give back, and then you're not doing it to get referrals back, but that's just the way it comes. You know what I mean? And I think that if your heart is in doing this so I can get referrals, you're not going to get any. But if you just do it
Yep.
for the right reason, it will come back full.
100%. I view it like this. If you join the chamber or a board or do anything that's nonprofit related with the intent of going in and selling yourself as a mortgage lender to get business, you are going to fail, because each one of those people are going to look at you like you're a fraud. You're not there to help. You're not there to be a part of it. You're just there for business. And while that may be true on some level, it's never going to actually benefit you and help you, because people see right through you in an instant.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's awesome. Okay, so you get these referrals in. Give me some examples or ideas or your thought process, your philosophy, and how do you build genuine relationships with these people?
Consistency. Just being consistent. Like, I don't send out birthday cards or anything like that, but I have conversations with almost every single person I've ever funded a loan with a few times a year for any kind of reason. Like, hey, oh, I sent your closing CD out for your tax time, or hey, this just changed. I just wanted to let you know that this is upcoming. This is a new tax law, or your trash bill is now included in your tax bill. Just wanted to let you know your escrow account might be short, or just calling and saying, hey, I know your kiddo was graduating this year. How'd that go? Did you guys have fun? Was it sucky because of COVID? Did you guys have any plans? Or I just continuously have these conversations, and some of them may be as simple as a text message, like, "Hey, just checking in. Wanted to see how you've been, how things are going." But none of it's ever preemptive. Like, "Hey, can I refinance you?
Right.
Hey, the market's great." Like, it's all very personal, and just, hey, just wanted to see how things are going, and check in, make sure you guys are good. And that is what continuously makes that cycle of referrals happen. So there might be people, I won't ever refinance again because we got them such great rates over the last 18 months, but I still call and talk to them. It's not a one and done thing. It's a, hey, how's your trailer? How was Glamis? How was your trip? So you build that relationship, and that's two part, because I also have that same thing with the real estate agents that are my referral partners. So I do the same thing with them. A lot of the times we don't even talk about business. I get their deals, I get their business. But when we meet up, when we network, when we hang out, when we do phone calls, we don't we don't really talk about business. We talk about life and what's going on, and just build that up, so that level of trust and consistency and reliability is there. So
That's perfect. Like one thing I do with my companies, we have a terminology that we use. We call it next step. You know what I mean? So like, what's the next step? How can you take it one step further? You know what I mean? Where instead of just contacting them about their loan or just sending them a birthday card, how can you take that next step? Whether it's get on Facebook and see what they're doing and just saying, "Hey, good job." You know what I mean? Or oh, look like things are going well. Just those little things.
Facebook stalking is literally the new norm, I think, and trying to at least find it like a little in on, hey, what can we connect on, what can we talk about, and what can make this a great relationship um, in general. Facebook's awesome for that. So,
Okay. No, so your referrals are your referrals, and like I've always said, there's a million different ways to get them. There's the direct referral where you're actually putting on events, which it sounds like you do, like a little happy hour with your financial planner, and that's great. And then you have those other ones where they just come naturally, and those are great too. So, you're just like me in the terms of my business is probably 98% referral. So, okay, now let's talk about your processes and procedures. Everyone wants to know about this because each one has their own. So tell me, how have you kind of gone about, and how many mistakes have you made, and how many times have you fine-tuned your process procedures over time?
okay, so many. I started back when everything was paper. Actually, you could still fill out a 1003 when it was carbon copied, um, which I know I don't look that old, but
I would never have
um,
guessed it.
everything was paper, and procedures. So losing documents was huge over the years. Where did the tax returns go? Where the W-2 go? Where the pay stubs go? It wasn't all digital, which made things really difficult back then. So I think having that kind of rigid checklist, follow this, have this, put this here, save that there, really helped in moving into like the digital age of things. Because I mean, and my assistant will tell you I'm a nut job. I have folders with subfolders of things because my brain's crazy. But that's where everything gets stored. This is the checklist for this. That's done. That goes in that folder. This is the checklist for that. That's done. That goes in that folder. So The process and procedures is really all about being diligent and finding what works. So everybody's got a checklist, everybody's got a spreadsheet, everybody has a way they like to do things. And I think if you take all of that together and really figure out, like, I like the way that this flows, but I like the way that this looks. And you kind of mesh them together until you find something that works perfectly for you and how you operate. But it's just about being consistent and having those checklists. And I've been doing this long enough, and many of us have, that it's a lot of it's mental. But I do train, so I have a lot of them on paper, and I do say, like, a lot of older brokers will understand the term junk forms.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
newer Newer brokers probably won't, but junk forms are the bulk of your entire doc package. That some of them are redundant, repetitive, idiotic. I mean, but those were the junk forms, and they had a place, and they had a list, like, what are the junk forms, what's involved, what do we have to have, what's a state one, what's a federal one. So when I train, I go through and I teach my new loan officers, processors, my assistant, everybody, what these are, so that they understand and they know forwards and backwards what a file is, how it works, what it does. If a computer crashed, they'd be able to do it all on paper. So that has definitely helped. One of the biggest things that I did was I created an intake form, which I'm actually working towards having converted into like a notebook. And it's every imperative question that is needed to be asked up front from a borrower. So you could have zero industry knowledge and work off this intake form and be able to hand it over to a loan officer, and they have every single piece of data and information to know what kind of loan they're structuring, what kind of estimate they're putting out, what the borrower's looking for, any kind of past credit, delinquencies, divorce, child support, alimony, just bought a brand new ATV, whatever it might be. That information is all on there. So if you have somebody in the front process of your company taking those incoming calls from lead generation or anything like that, you eliminate probably a good hour and a half of your time of guesswork on putting an estimate together. Now you have something in front of you, you can immediately go to work. So
Perfect. Okay, so with your systems and processes that you have in place, like what kind of system, and when I say systems, are like what kind of vendors do you use? I mean, is it just Excel? Is it, like give me a rundown on what you guys use.
okay, so I'm the worst millennial ever in terms of like knowing how to operate stuff, especially social media. And my husband is in IT. He's like the third person in charge of an entire city and police department. And I had to call him and ask him which one of our internets was the fast one. So
I love
I'm,
it. I love it.
when it comes to tech, I am probably not the best person to ask. I like simplicity. I like things that are kind of all in one, very streamlined. I don't like having to jump around to 9 different things to get just bits of information. So I'm actually currently working towards streamlining a lot of our process. But my systems that I have in place right now, I use Flowify,
Mhm.
and we have Calyx, probably switching over to the Arrive or Lending Pad, much like the rest of the world. But that's it. Beyond that, I create spreadsheets, and I keep my data in there, and I have folders, and it's all organized and under Dropbox. So I can access it from my phone, any computer. It's all cloud based in terms of that, which is nice because I go a lot of places that I can't bring my computer, or I don't have the best internet. So having access on my phone is super important. But it's really simple. I do that. I don't have a CRM. Like, I kind of like a walking CRM in terms of like,
We're not
oh
going to talk. We're not going to market that one.
no, please don't. So, but no, it's not really very intuitive. It's just kind of there, and it works, and it has its purpose. I do hope in the near future to get HomeBot. on board and integrated with my website. My website's not quite completely fine tuned, but I definitely think that's going to add a lot of value to my past clients and my real estate agents that I work with.
So I have HomeBot. I absolutely love it. You know what I mean? I know they're part of the Brokers Are Better network, and I'm not touting it for any reason. I'm just telling you I love it. But a lot of what you're saying here, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I said HomeBot's incredible. Like I'm itching to get it up and running and in.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, so I mean, no, I'm telling you, we're on the same page with a lot of things. You know, I'm a very simple person. And I know people who have these crazy good systems. You know what I mean? It's just for the way my mind works, it's just not there. I'm always trying to get a little bit better at all times, but some of the systems I see from some of our members and in our community, it blows my mind. Not in a bad way, but in a good way. Exactly. I'm just like, oh my God, I mean, I already know we have a lot of intelligent people in this community, but some of this stuff, I'm like, whoa, this is way past my pay grade. But I love it. And that's the beautiful thing about our industry is you can do it many different ways, whatever works for
yeah,
you. And as long as you're serving the client, okay, we're good.
yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm still old school, and I absolutely adore Skylar because she's my whiteboard sister. Like I literally have gridded out whiteboards for
Really?
stuff. Still, yeah, they're hanging on the wall. I gotta physically see it. I gotta physically go in and edit it. And um, I was recently diagnosed with ADHD, which explains so much.
Stop.
I, it does, but it's so bad because things pop in my head, and if I don't write them down in my 9 million notebooks, I forget that they're there. But then I also have to remember to go through one of my 9 million notebooks to find that note. So I actually have a desk. It stands and sits. It's fancy. It's a whiteboard.
Okay.
So literally just have my dry erase marker, and when I'm in the middle of something and something pops in my head, oh my gosh, I need to call that person about this. I just write it on my desk.
Seriously, you got to take a picture of that. That sounds amazing.
I can totally send the link from Amazon. It was like $400. It's the best invention, like literally ever. It's got USB ports, a drawer. It's great.
I
So
know Julian's on the back right now. Julian, we got to make sure this somehow we put this in there. That's amazing. I'm already interested of that.
it's been a lifesaver for me because I honestly I can show you the stacks of notebooks I have, but you still got to remember to go back and look at the note that you wrote in the notebook. So when I write it on my desk, I know that hey, that must have been important because I thought about it when I was doing something else. So come back and do that and finish that task and try to stay as as organized as possible in my pretend time blocking.
I love it. I love your honesty here. Okay, real quick here. How is it? Are you just a one person shop, or how many people do you have with you?
So I actually just brought on another loan officer. He's actually an engineer, and he's what we call a baby yellow. But he is incredibly intelligent. He catches on to stuff so quick. He loves and understands the fact that if you expect your processor to do it, you better know how to do it yourself. So he's learned how to take complete applications, why we need certain forms, how to go search, Fannie, Freddie, FHA, VA, how to go search for the information and find it before he asks the question. And so I'm still mentoring him. He's averaging about one closing a month, but having just got his license, I think a year ago, that's pretty good. And he's not full time at it. So his name's Michael. He just came on to my mortgage group. I have my assistant, Nikki, who is wonderful at being the nicest nag ever. She's like a second spouse.
You got to get a
Um,
T-shirt made for that nicest nag. I love that.
she's freaking great. And then I'm actually training right now. I'm training two processors. One of them happens to be my mom, and the other one is my sister-in-law. So we'll be training them to actually work the files in different sections of it, so that it has a flow and there's accountability and everybody is operating in a certain function. So my mom's actually out here visiting right now because I'm going to be training her, teaching her, going through some checklists and running through some stuff and how to do different tasks that need we need to be person to person for. Some things are really hard explained via Zoom or shared screens and all of that. So.
So is that is that your training and onboarding process? Is just it's all on you, or do you use any systems? How do you go about that?
So actually, Jackie Dunlap, my badass friend, is amazing. So she has her boot camp, and then she's got her intro and all of that. And she has a very amazing skill set to be able to explain the process of processing loans in a way that people can actually understand. So I've been utilizing her for training as well as UWM. UWM side of things is more of a 80% of my loans go learn their system type of scenario. And then the rest of it is just, hey, here's extra information. And yes, I do everything completely backwards from what they just told you to do it my way, but it's good information to have. Because if I train up and I have, processors that want to become loan officers, or processors that want to move to different companies, or they want to open contract processing and process for different brokers, I want them to grow. So they need to be able to adapt and have all of that. And then I'm going to be introducing Trello into it as well for a little bit more advanced.
Awesome. And good success with it, you think, so far?
Yeah, really good. I wish there was more availability for some of the classes on that, but I also know that you can't really learn until you have your hands in a file and you're knee deep in the mud and you don't know what the hell's going on.
I
So.
I I couldn't agree more. I've trained many people, and I can tell them go read guidelines, go do this, watch this webinar. But until you have that file in your hands, or I say put your feet to the fire, there's no training like on the job training.
No, exactly. And the retention of knowledge also is not there. You can hear something 1,000 times and it will never stick with you. You go and learn it and do it once, you'll remember it for life. Um,
Yep.
so it's super important to have on the job training. So I phase in little things. Here's how you order a VOE. Start doing all of those. Okay, you're proficient at that. Here's how you open escrow. Do all of those. Okay, you're proficient at that. Okay, now I want you to do insurance. I want you to do payoffs. I want you to do credit supplements. Each file has nuances. They're all different. So I just phase in one act in that set at a time until they're proficient at it, and then we move on to the next set.
So that's basically, because one thing that I hear a lot from members, and even myself, I'm gonna tell you right now, it's even myself, delegating is sometimes difficult. Is that how you do it? You just pick one topic, let them kind of be an expert at it, then move on?
So I think everybody who works in our sphere is a total control freak. Um, because nobody can do it better than we can.
Right.
Um, So yes, delegation I think is probably one of the biggest things every loan officer struggles with when they're growing or building a team or hiring people. But yes, that is how I control my anxiety with it, and also make sure that I know that when I hand something off delegation wise, I know they're proficient at it. I know they can handle it. I know that if they have an issue, they will come ask a question versus going, well, we'll just see what happens. So that's my way of being able to not only train, but to allow myself to originate and to do what I need to do and be calm while they're doing their job and not be looking over their shoulder or micromanaging the situation. So.
Perfect. Perfect. No, it's this is, and a lot of people I have are easy conversations with, but this one is extremely easy because I feel like we're aligned quite a bit with our philosophies, how we go about things. So no, I appreciate this. Okay. So to kind of wrap this all up here, I'm going to give you the floor. You know what I mean? This is your chance, as I like to say. It's a great way. I love to, end this podcast. And it's been a great podcast, by the way. But it's just like, what do you want to tell the community? What advice you want to give? What if they're upcoming, new, old, you're in the business, you're successful. What piece of advice would you like to give?
Um okay, so the first bit of advice is stop worrying about quotas and numbers on your pipeline and how much money you should be making or you need to make. That will come. Focus on the people in front of you and that will make you successful. That will make you rich beyond measure of just monetary. It'll make you rich in life because of the people that you're surrounding yourself with. So a lot of people are like, oh my God, I only have one loan. Okay, well, great. That's one loan. Give that loan every single thing that you have and shower them with the most attention and detail and education and everything that you can, because that one loan is 10 loans in the future. So don't worry about where things are, because they will get there. So
Yeah.
look at what's in front of you and do that. Anybody who's been in the business for a really long time kind of all already know that. And the one thing I could say to them is lean on the people in your corner when you're burnt out, because we all get there. And we all have a corner, we all have cheerleaders, we all have people that are willing to step in and help us. And make sure that you're asking them, hey, I can't do this right now. I need 2 days. If I get a new loan, would you be able to take that incoming and start it for me? So just have your people, have your corner, have your community, and just lean on them.
That's perfect. Yeah, I mean that's why you have a team. That's why you have the community. I've seen things in the Brokers Are Better network where people are getting on, and I saw this coming. And when I was doing these little Wednesday meetings, with the community, my biggest fear was people getting burned out. You know what I mean? And as of recent in the Brokers Are Better Facebook group page, I've seen people say, I need some advice. I just need some promotion. I need just a little bit of confidence. Can someone help me out? And but that's what's beautiful about the community and the team is, we're all here to support each other.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, AIM has really built something that is beautiful and gives people who've been in the business a really long time and know what it's like to be the ones everybody hated. It's nice that you guys created a place where it's safe to ask a question. Like when you are burnt out, like we're smart people, we can Google stuff, but sometimes we're in the middle of something and we need to ask a dumb question. Hey guys, just really need this answered. And then you've got 500 people going, oh, I got you. It's this, because they know it off the top of their head and they're not brain fried like you are. So it's beautiful that we have this community and this safe place. And it's amazing too what you guys are doing with the lobbying and being able to really kind of push us forward and what we need to do, because it is so needed and it's been so ignored for the
Right.
long time. So it's great. Absolutely love being a part of it. And I tell everybody I meet who's a broker, I say, hey, are you on BAB? Are you a member of AIM? Oh, you don't have your Brokers Are Better t-shirt? Oh, go get one.
I got mine on right now. We're at every episode. So no, I agree. In the lobbying thing, we're making great strides with the past couple months. We changed some things up and really excited about the lobbying efforts that we're putting forward, because it's never been done before. Yes, has there been lobbying done? Yeah, but it was not for the brokers. Let's just say that. So really proud to be a part of that.
Yeah, it's incredible. I'm honored and humbled to be ranked among the type of people who are uh, part of AIM, and we're 10,000 strong. So if you're part of AIM, if you're a broker or better, like I mean, go kill it. There's nothing standing in your way.
Love it. Well, Mary, listen, as always, I got to thank you for your time. I know, you promote the community, you promote AIM. You're great for the community, and just want to thank you for your time today.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me on. I was surprised, shock and awe.
Oh no, don't be. So, all right. Well, so listen, everyone, that's going to conclude our episode here. So, Mary, thank you for sharing your insights with us today. Fellow brokers, if you want to get caught up on all of our past podcast episodes, please head over to aimgroup.com/broker to broker. You can also listen to all of the Broker to Broker podcast episodes on iTunes, Spotify, and Google Podcasts. Please do me a favor, rate our podcast, leave a review, subscribe to it, please. It helps us get the podcast out there and spreads the word that brokers are better. Mary, you're just precisely what we need, and you send the message out clearly that brokers are better. So once again, thank you for your time.
Awesome. Thank you so much.